Hey everyone, welcome to our third webinar of the year. I'm super excited to be with such an amazing array of people tonight to explain to you everything you need to know about. Hey everyone, welcome to our third webinar of the year. I'm super excited to be with such an amazing array of people tonight to explain to you everything you need to know about. Okay, sorry, that was weird. I don't know what happened there, but anyways, thank you all so much for coming. One thing I'd like to say is I really apologize for this strange timing. Normally we do our webinars on the last Tuesday of the month, but unfortunately that's New Year's Eve, and the week before that is Christmas Eve. So we're doing it tonight, and I hope all of you all are okay with that. But normally we do it on the last Tuesday of the month. So today we will be talking about competitions and competitive events. So we'll be going over all the different types of competitive events and everything you need to know about competing. And we have tonight with us Rylan, we have Kyle, we have Emily, Amanda, and Jeffrey. We have with us our state officer team and two very special guests tonight to explain all the ins and outs of competing. So to start off, I'd like to hand it off to Amanda Langston as she talks about the importance of competing in general. So take it away, Amanda.
So competing is a way to get more involved. It serves as a motivating force that drives you to put your best foot forward and produce quality work. Competition is also a good way to gauge your performance and mastery of the subject. It fosters growth due to the inherent dedication and perseverance demanded by pursuing competitive endeavors and pushes you to expand your horizon as you get out of your comfort zone. I recommend everyone competes so they can grow to become the best future business leaders of America they can be.
All right. Thank you so much, Amanda. That was an incredible description of just the importance of competing in general. And so from there, I'd like to hand it off to Emily as she talks about our very first type of competitive event, which is our double Smackdowns. Emily, take it away. Okay, I'm so sorry. We are experiencing technical difficulties. I'm sure Emily will be right back talking about that. But for right now, we're going to move on to objective testing. And tonight we have Amanda, who will be talking about the ins and outs of objective tests and everything you need to know about taking those. So Amanda, please take it away.
Okay, so objective tests are multiple choice tests that focus on the subject you have chosen. There are various ways you can study for these tests, including reviewing Quizlets, reading textbooks, and discussing the subject with a teacher. Because it is a multiple choice test, one of the answers is always correct, so you can do many different strategies. One strategy is process of elimination. This is ruling out any answers that seem to be too far-fetched and are outliers. Whenever I take a test, and because I'm a math person, I'll make sure the letters are roughly equally distributed. This means that if you have a test that has 4 choices, A, B, C, and D, then each letter will be chosen about a quarter of the time. Note, there will be leeway, and it will not always be exact. I am also one of those people that become paranoid when I get 3 of the same letter in a row. But if you are confident in your answer, then you are most likely right. Your gut instinct is usually right whenever you answer a question. Unless you are 99% sure, I would not go back and change the answer. If you have to choose between lengthy responses, more times than less, the longest answer is usually correct. Objective tests can be easily prepared for. You just need to put the time and effort into studying the material. I am confident that you will all do great at your district competitions. Thank you, and back to you, Michael.
Thank you so much, Amanda. And from there, we're going to go on to another type of competitive event, which is our chapter reports. And this makes up a really, really important part of FBLA competing. And so tonight, to explain this, is Rylan. Rylan, please take it away.
Thank you, Michael. So what are chapter reports? Chapter reports are events that recognize FBLA's chapters that successfully implement projects to serve the citizens of their communities. The report must describe one chapter project that fulfills whatever report you are doing. The project must be in the interest of the community and designed for chapter participation. The same chapter project may be used for different events. Make certain, though, to focus the report on specific elements addressed by the guidelines for each event. A community service project, for instance, conducted jointly with a local business might qualify in both the community service project and partnership with business project events. The community service project should focus on the planning, implementation, and outcomes of the services aspect of the project. The partnership with businesses project should focus on the interactions with the local business and the outcome of those contacts, how they benefit your chapter and yourself. Chapter reports not only give recognition to your chapter for an amazing deed, but really focuses in on the person presenting the report because the courage it takes to speak for your whole chapter in place.
Awesome description, Rylan. Thank you so much for that. And tonight, I will actually be going over performance events. And I've had the honor of actually participating in a variety of different performance events in the past, and also in general doing public speaking and doing webinars just like this, and speaking in public, and all of these different types of things that involve the skills that are involved in performance events. And so I'd really like to talk about how important these performance events are, because I mean, really my journey in FBLA had started with performance events. I remember all the way back in freshman year, my first competitive event was Introduction to Public Speaking. And literally that moment when I went up there and gave my very first speech was life-changing. It was game-changing, because that was what truly introduced me to the world of public speaking. But if you guys came here expecting some kind of success story, that was not at all what happened, because literally I went in there and I bombed it. I did terrible. Like, I placed, I think, second to last in my district. And what was important about that situation, though, was that I didn't give up. And even though I did terrible and I failed, I took that as motivation, and I kept on going, and I kept on competing. And that introduction to public speaking grew to public speaking, and you know, here I am now. So public speaking and really any type of performance event is really, really useful for developing those communication skills, those speaking skills, those collaborative skills, those business skills that you're really, really going to need in no matter what field you go into in the future. And so a lot of people ask me, you know, Michael, how can I decide what I want to do? You know, like, how do I decide that I want to do a performance event or whatever other type of event? And really the answer is simple. One of the greatest resources that are out there is the FBLA national website. And on the FBLA national website, they have this really cool flow chart with all the different types of competitions that you can actually go through to decide whether or not you're interested in doing a performance event or whatever type of event. And so I really, really highly encourage all of you all to go out there and check that out and really decide whether or not you want to go that route. But I encourage you, even if you're afraid, even if you're scared to do a type of performance event, I mean, pursue it anyways, because if you do, then, I mean, the gains are limitless. And so in terms of preparation, I'd say the most important thing is literally practice, 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 because practice makes perfect. I told you how in my freshman year I did terrible, but after practicing year after year, I was able to improve in public speaking. I mean, the moral of the story is that if you practice and you prepare, you will reach perfection eventually. And another thing is to work with a professional. A lot of chapters actually don't do this, and I think this is a really, really useful tool, because it's one thing that my chapter does. And what we do is we'll reach out to our local universities or local professionals who do public speaking or do some sort of performance type event or some similar type of job that is related to your event in real life, and they do it for a living. And so, for example, since I did public speaking, we had someone from the FSCJ campus literally come into Miss Newell's classroom to talk to us and to give us advice and to listen to us give our speeches and criticize it and give tips and things like that to improve our public speaking skills. So one of the most essential things that you can do with performance events is go out there and find your local professionals, find your local experts to help you master whatever you're doing. And then I'd say the final thing is with any type of performance event is writing. I mean, obviously an incredible part of your performance event is going to be that that speaking portion of it, but whether it's your project that you have to submit, or a speech that you're writing, or your impromptu 5-minute like preparation, or whatever it may be, how you can prepare to be to have an incredible piece of writing to speak about is by what I like to do is watch the greats. I mean, watch someone who has been able to do it extremely successfully. In terms of public speaking, what I would do is before I would go up there, before I would start writing my speech, I would listen to incredible public speakers like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., or people like him, or Martin Luther King Jr., people like that were able to write incredibly powerful and moving speeches and presentation, and steal those types of words that allow for powerful emotions, and use that the wording and the imagery that they use and replicate it so that you can have a powerful, moving presentation. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're doing an objective type of presentation or a moving, emotional type of presentation. You can always learn from the greats. Those have done amazing presentations in the past. And I'd like to say another really quick tip is to remember quotes, because you can literally use quotes in any type of situation. I use quotes all the time, especially when you go up there and you just like blank out. Literally having quotes to say are one of the most amazing things that'll make you sound smart and intelligent, because you can go up there and forget absolutely what you're saying and just say a quote that's related, and it all makes sense, and they'll think you're wise like Baby Yoda or something. And of course, I'd like to remind you that every competition is different. I mean, you can take these tips with performance events, but remember that with every type of performance event, you have public speaking, you have introduction, you have project related ones, you have performance events where you have to go up there and you have to act some type of role. And so all of these require different types of preparation, but all of them have the same roots in how you can prepare in terms of speaking and writing. And so I hope you take these tips to mind, and I hope you improve with them. And so with that, I'd like to hand it off to Rylan as he talks about, after we've talked about all these different types of events, the importance of your district award ceremony and awarding success with events. So Rylan, I'd like to pass it off to you. Take it away.
Thank you again, Michael. Now, to elaborate on what my colleagues have been saying, competing is hard work. It hasn't been mentioned yet, but for those of you who participated in these submission events, that was hard work. No matter what you competed in, after spending countless hours preparing for those competitions and inherently winning them, it is time to celebrate, to be rewarded for your hard work. This is where the district award ceremony comes in. Now, the district award ceremony is a great morale boost for your members, regardless of where your specific district holds the award ceremony or which specific award you're receiving. It really is a great opportunity to hype up your members, and to win an award is an honor, and you should feel proud. This is the time where all of your achievements are recognized and displayed in front of your fellow members. The state officers, including myself, are always available to make a school and or district visit to any district award ceremony. If you feel that your district award ceremony merits our attendance, please do not hesitate to contact us. Speaking of the district award ceremony, we actually have guest speakers today to give some advice and share some of their stories in competing, and to give you some advice on to place and guarantee your spot at your district award ceremony.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rylan. And so the first person who, our first guest speaker tonight is Jeffrey, as he's going to come and explain his journey as a freshman going from the local level all the way to the national competition. And so I think he has some really important insights that he would like to share. Jeff, please take it away.
Hi guys, I'm Jeffrey Lopez and I'm a sophomore at Palm Beach Gardens High School, and I'm here to give you tips about competition. Last year was my first year competing for FBLA, and it was a great experience. From competing, I learned that practice is your best friend. Last year, I competed in Introduction to Business Presentation. At first, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was confused, I didn't know where to start, and I didn't really have a lot of hope for placing. However, with all these hardships, I persisted through and finished my PowerPoint and constantly practiced. I practiced my speech, practiced my eye contact. I even practiced how I would shake the judge's hands. My team and I ended up placing first in district competition, which surprised me. It was a huge confidence booster. Fast forwarding to state competition, I was still constantly practicing. The day before my team and I went to compete, We were down in the hotel lobby until 11:30 at night, practicing until it was perfect. We ended up placing third at state competition, which impressed me even more, considering the fact that we were only a freshman team. And including myself, I really was new to FBLA and I still didn't really know what I was doing. Then national competition. I was nervous. Big stage, all 50 states. I really didn't know what to expect. My original team couldn't make it, so it was just Kyle and I really didn't know who Kyle was. I just knew that he was a great public speaker. But we only had a short period of time and he had to learn the whole entire presentation. However, practicing, we kept on practicing. We were in the hotel room, 12 a.m. We practiced, and we ended up placing 10th in the nation. Out of 103 teams, we were freshmen and we placed 10th. You see, this was something I'm still very proud about, and I knew I worked hard for it because I kept on practicing. If there was something that I would like you all to take away from this, is that practicing can take you far. May it be for an objective test or a performance event. If you constantly try and put yourself in that position, pretend you are competing, you'll become comfortable with the competition setting and make it to the big stage at Salt Lake City, Utah this year.
Awesome job, Jeff. That was an amazing description of your whole journey, and I hope all of you can take inspiration from what he had to go through to get to that national level. And so to follow up on what Jeff had said, I'd like to introduce Kyle tonight as he talks about how he had this really, really unique part to add to Jeff's journey, as he actually was a substitute, and he'll tell you all about his journey and how he benefited from his experience. And I hope that you all can take inspiration from his journey as well. So Kyle, please take it away.
Hi guys, I'm Kyle Desjardins, and I'm also a sophomore at Palm Beach Gardens High School, where I was a substitute for Jeff's team going into nationals, where, as Jeff said, I didn't know who Jeff was. We shared one class, AP Human Geography, and I didn't know who he was. We haven't really talked. I honestly don't know where he got the idea that I was a good public speaker, but he approached me during when I was having lunch with my mom. He texted me saying, "Hey, I have a spot open for national competition with my team. I heard you're a good public speaker. Would you like to participate with me?" And I sat there thinking, this kid I don't know just asked me to compete with him on a national stage. I was blown away. I never felt more honored to be asked to do something at such a big scale for Jeff. So with that mindset in mind, I worked harder and harder each and every day leading up to the competition. Because going off what Jeff said, we did not have a lot of time to go through everything. I had to learn the entire PowerPoint script, anything I could get my hands on in a little under 2 months before we had to go to San Antonio, Texas, and compete in front of a national stage. I did not want to let Jeff down. I was so honored that a kid that I barely even knew thought I had the potential to help him win at a national stage. So I worked and worked and worked and worked. Like Jeff said, we were up until 12 a.m. in our hotel rooms where our other roommates were sleeping. We worked and worked and practiced and practiced. Just going off of what Michael and Jeff said, practice and practice always got us to where we wanted. But of course, since we were a substitute, we had to still be tested on our teamwork. So we go to the preliminaries, and we did not do as good as we could have done. We missed spots. We didn't know where everything was. But what struck me the most is when we were done, the judges praised our presentation because we were able to keep each other on track. I knew where Jeff was. He knew where I was. We were able to communicate where we were to stick as a team. And they praised that. Even though we messed up multiple times, they praised our teamwork in being able to keep our spots in check. And I thought that was very interesting because me and Jeff were a brand new team, and that was the first test we had with our teamwork. So the hard work that Jeff and I had put in, we were able to act like we were there the whole time. So there's a whole moral to my story. This a little derivative off of what Jeff said, that practice is your best friend. Hard work will get you to where you want. I had worked harder and harder and harder every day leading up to national competition. so that I could help Jeff get our 10th place at Intro to Business presentation. We go to finals, nail it out of the park. That was probably the best presentation we could have gotten and gave to the judges. That was to our best ability. And I just remember the day after the award ceremony with me, Jeff and I, and we were happy. All our hard work and practice and hours and hours and days, we were able to pull it off. I know it might seem that my story is a very special case. I was a substitute to go to nationals. A lot of people might not have the same opportunities. I know it might seem I'm a very special case. But my point with hard work still stands with any competition you may do. Whether it be a test about agriculture, whatever, intro to public speaking, like what Michael was talking about, intro to business presentation, which me and Jeff did, any competition, any category, any situation one might be in, not even just mine, not me and Jeff, not anybody's, any position you might be in, hard work will always pay off in the long run. If you work at your dreams, if you work at your goals, you will get there with all the hard work that you put it in. It will pay off in the long run. So thank you guys for your time, and I'd like to give it back to Michael.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Thank you so much, Jeff. You guys have such an amazing story that I think all of us can take inspiration from as members of FBLA. And if you don't believe me, take it from these live comments. I mean, look at this. Look at this. I mean, amazing. I mean, there we go. But thank you all so much. Thank you so much to Kyle and Jeff for coming tonight. And before we end it off, I'd actually like to hand it off to Amanda. Unfortunately, Emily was not able to make it work because of technical issues, but we would still like to cover the importance of our double Smackdowns. And so tonight we have Amanda to talk about the importance of those. So Amanda, please take it away.
Okay, so double Smackdowns are competitions that require not only performance, but a test or prejudge assignment. And they require a little bit, you need to work more and requires dedication. These competitions include parliamentary procedure, banking and financial systems, help desk, and many other competitions. I personally like to call them double Smackdowns because they require multiple components. You're not just studying information, but you are practicing presenting and working with your teammates. Some good study tips would be to have various study sessions, whether it be after school or on the weekends, to use resources such as Quizlet, so you can expand your knowledge and get into the habit of memorizing information you might need for your presentation. It is also good to take breaks because cramming isn't good. Because although you should know your material, there's a difference between understanding and memorizing it. And if you ever are struggling, do not be afraid to ask for help if you need it, because it can end up benefiting you a lot. With these double Smackdowns, it could be a team performance, and a good dynamic makes all of the difference with delivery. The ability to bounce off of each other and just have overall a good chemistry will make or break a presentation. So try to practice it every day because practicing is very crucial. Even if you cannot meet with your partner, it still makes a difference. Even if it's 15 minutes, you'll develop a rhythm and pattern, and your performance will become more natural. All things aside, remember to have fun with your competition, and winning isn't everything. What is important is that you try, work hard, and strive to excel.
All right. Thank you so much, Amanda. And I think everyone had something incredible to share tonight. And I hope all of you were able to benefit in some way, somehow from that. And so I'd like to thank all of you for coming. I apologize for having this right in the middle of midterm season, right at the start of Christmas break. I'm super sorry, but I hope all of you all were able to garner something in order to better your FBLA competitive event career. And so with that, I'd like to turn it up to the Q&A session. Oh, wait, but one more thing. I'd like to say, if you haven't already, make sure you check out our Fall Communicator. It's posted on the Florida FBLA website, so make sure you check that out. But other than that, I'd like to start our Q&A session. All right. So how this is going to work is all you have to do is go comment in the live comment section, and it'll appear on the screen. And what we will do is any of us can answer it, so we can address any of us, and of course, just have any question at all. So please take it away. Oh, we have a question from Henrietta Hauk. Here's the question. Kyle and Jeff, first off, you guys did amazing, especially you, Kyle. But what other advice do you have for people who are trying to place at a national level? So, you guys?
You want to start, Jeff?
Yeah. Self-confidence is key. When I was in the district level, I kept on telling myself, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. But when I was competing, I told myself and my team that we can do this. We're going to place first. We're going to place first. And that ended up happening. We did end up placing first. And then we went to state competition. I was like, dang, the competition is kind of rough. So maybe third, right? And then we ended up placing third. So just be confident in your own abilities and you end up placing.
Yeah, to add on to that, self-confidence is definitely a very good key. Definitely do a category that you enjoy doing. So me and Jeff enjoy public speaking. We really like the concept of using the PowerPoint to keep us on track and the whole shebang. Definitely do a category that you enjoy doing. So if you're a good test taker, take a test. If you work good with other people, do a team category. If you work better by yourself, if you're a lone wolf, then do an individual category. So definitely do a category that you are most invested in and want to learn more about. Because overall, you'll do more. You'll do better in your performance because you're more interested in your category.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Any other questions? Anything you guys would like to add? Rylan, Amanda, Kyle, Jeff, anything? All right. Then with that, I'd like to thank you all so much for coming. Thank you all so much for making it out.
Question.
Oh, yes. We have a question? All right. What is it?
How do I better formulate my sources into my presentation with my partner?
Ooh. Kyle or Jeff, do you guys have anything to say about that?
How do you better formulate your sources?
Into my presentation with my partner.
It's honestly just about trying to find the right stuff. So it took me a while to find my resources. You want to use the right resources. You don't want to use the wrong resources. So what I recommend you stay with your partner. You try to find a way for you two to meet up, because it's gonna take a while to find your resources, and you also want to find your good resources as well. So meet up with your partner, sit in front of the computer, both of you try to find your resources, and as soon as you find the good resources you have, just put it into your presentation.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Any other questions? Hey, I like this one.
Thank you, MG.
All right. If that's it, thank you all so much for coming. Obviously, if you have any other questions whatsoever, you always can email us. You can contact us at state officers anytime whatsoever. And make sure, if you want us to come visit your district for your district award ceremonies or whatever it may be, just contact us. We would love to come out there and talk to you guys, meet you guys. And so with that, I hope you guys had an amazing time and enjoyed this webinar and learned something. And so thank you all very much. And I hope you all have an amazing holiday season. A Merry Christmas. Have a great night. Bye.